Galactus, one of the most feared entities in the entire Marvel universe, responsible for the evisceration of billions of lives across the galaxy. And Mr. Fantastic saved him. Now I'm sure the question most of you are wondering is, why would he do such a thing? Well, the reason is probably something you wouldn't expect. Fantastic Four 262 opens in a very meta fashion. The Watcher, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with due to their representation in the What If TV series on Disney+, scoops up author John Byrne, who penned a lot of Fantastic Four in his days, and brings him across the stars to chronicle the trial of Reed Richards himself. Invisible Woman explains to John that Reed's actions of saving Galactus some months ago have been put into question. The survivors of the planets that Galactus consumed want to sentence Reed to death. Princess Lilandra of the Shi'ar Empire, who now goes by Magistrix, is the prosecutor of the trial. She calls upon Karant Kiar, the prelate of the seventh quadrant of the Skrull Empire, and he recounts the devastation of his world. He states enraged that 7 billion Skrulls would still be alive if not for the actions of Reed Richards. Reed hears his story, and he agrees. If not for him, then billions of Skrulls would still be alive. But Reed still believes what he did was right. The trial continues, and it's more stories that are similar to the ones previously heard, of devastation and destruction at the hands of Galactus, rung through generations, people who even see him as a fearsome bedtime story to be told to children, because the generation of trauma that's in the wake of his presence is felt by so many. If you were a neutral party looking on, you would think that this trial is not going great for Mr. Fantastic. So much so that even his Fantastic Four brother-in-law, Johnny, agrees and says that they should have just let Galactus die. But before he's able to get more off his mind, the Watcher sends him on a special mission. And to everybody's surprise, the Watcher himself joins the defense counsel of Reed Richards. This is especially shocking because the Watcher is supposed to be neutral. He's simply supposed to watch and not interfere with anything that happens in the observable universe. But he says that this is too important, that this will affect even his own race of people, so he has no choice but to defend Reed Richards' actions here. Reed Richards pleads guilty of saving Galactus, but not guilty of committing a crime. He states that Galactus exists outside of the normal occurrence of everyday people. He states that Galactus is a force of the universe itself, and by saving Galactus, he's allowing a natural part of the universe to continue. And the Watcher agrees with him, and he's very confident in the testimony of the witness that he sent Johnny to bring. Odin, ruler of Asgard. Odin recounts to the jury the origins of it being known as Galactus. Once there was a world of such magnificence that even fabled Asgard might suffer in comparison, the planet Ta. But for all its glories, it was a planet doomed, a planet dying. And in all that world, one man alone had the wisdom to know what it was that so doomed them, and that words to speak its name. The plague that threatens us all, no cure, for it's the final plague, the plague of entropy. His name was Galan, and though he knew it not, he would become Galactus. Thus did Galan and a small crew of brave men leave the world of Ta, seeking out the center of their universe, that place where time and space ended as all things returned from whence they had so long came. The universe became a giant black hole, consuming itself, and into the unimaginable center plunged the last of Ta, all there to perish, all save one. And to him a voice whispered, a voice beyond our comprehension, the sentience of the universe. No being can guess how long that man once called Galan lay in the embrace of a dying cosmos, but when that death gave itself as birth to our universe, The last ship of Ptah was flung out somewhere, remained. It and its lone survivor was eventually found by one of the Watcher's race. In keeping with its tradition, the Watcher studied the energy thing that was once Gallon of Ptah, studied but did nothing to interfere with its growing, allowing it to leap again to space, reshaping that last ship into a great incubator. Long did that silent cube drift as the universe grew around it and life spread. Then came that fateful day. Then the cube was opened, and Galactus lived. Odin explains that Galactus's existence is a natural force, like the solar wind, like the supernova, like the rolling seas. Odin continues, the function of Galactus is to test worlds. The ones that survive are strengthened and are worthy of the great fate, which is the promised end of the universe. The ones that fail, they fail totally and are forever purged, wiped from the slate of time and space. Strong words for sure, but Princess Lilandra is not fully sold. She says that the trial will continue until a verdict of not guilty is given, and some are still unconvinced. Well, what other way to convince them than to bring Galactus himself into the courtroom? Unsurprisingly, the millions of aliens witnessing this trial are shocked, too stunned to even speak. Galactus appears at the trial to essentially say what Reed Richards did was correct and he was right to do it, and he even refers to Reed Richards as his friend. With every bit of courage that she can muster up, Princess Lilandra addresses Galactus directly and states that his words have no power here, and in fact they did more to hurt Reed Richards' case than to help it, and the Watcher agrees with her. But Galactus has another idea. With him and the Watcher in attendance, they may be able to call on somebody or something that may be more convincing. Their hands draw near and cosmic energies stir. A single bolt of inconceivable force rips wide the very fabric of reality. A tear, a wound opens in the empty air, a gateway that seeks to take on a human form. Reed Richards remembers Doctor Strange telling him about it. A single being who is the sum total of all life, all things in the universe combined. Eternity. To save the life of Reed Richards, Eternity lets the mortal beings know the unknowable. He opens the cosmic book and gives them the knowledge. In that moment, the many are made one, and the one made many, as each mind is suddenly the same mind, each soul suddenly the same ageless soul. They walk for a while the path of Galactus, and they find it long and hard indeed. They are the countless billions of the universe gone, and of the universe yet to be. They see and feel the joys, the sorrows, the glory, and the pain. And through it all they feel an overwhelming sense of purpose, a sure knowledge that there is a destiny for the universe, a grand and glorious destiny. And with it comes a pain of realization, the image of a universe shorn of Galactus, and as a consequence, that great destiny so suddenly snuffed out, like a lone candle in the cold night wind. To all mortals present is this cosmic truth made plain. The Watcher tells the author to hurry up and craft this tale because the ultimate truth will fade. But fear not, the consequences of Reed's actions will still go unquestioned, and he'll be a free man. But what about Galactus? Asks John. What will happen to him? He says that Galactus is the only being in the universe devoid of free will. Galactus will go on. The testing will continue until that distant day he finds a world with power enough to stop him, to end for all time his cosmic hunger. And on that day shall Galactus perish. On that day, let the universe mourn. This chapter made me think that Reed Richards himself may have some force within him that is beyond the existence of a normal entity, a normal mere mortal in the universe. Because two cosmic beings, Galactus and Eternity, and the Watcher, if you want, if you can attribute his race to being a cosmic being type race, essentially go out of their way to make sure that the one life of this mortal man is spared. Because for all intents and purposes, they could have just continued with the trial. And yes, Reed Richards would have been sentenced to death, but that would not stop Galactus. His ultimate quest, his ultimate goal would still continue regardless of whether Reed Richards lives or dies. So it's interesting that the universe essentially spared him intentionally. It's definitely something to wonder. If you like this video and want to see more like it, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.